unicorn thing reminded me of Chuck Norris.
Of Chuck Norris? That's awesome. Why? That's badass.
Chuck, Chuck Norris eats his steak so rare that he only eats unicorns.
Whoa! Whoa! That was visceral. That was a great way to start this broadcast. Alright, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, freaks, geeks, aliens, and mutants, I'm Stone. She's not your Queen Bee. We're still not your typical gamers. And we're hanging out with Homicidal. We're trying to level up and do some fun stuff, but Twitch has been doing goofy, doofy, angry things to us this whole time. We're at 66% drop frames. I'll take it. Alright. Let's warp to Homicidal and see if this actually does things. Let me check
I've
my
almost
monitors.
made it back to the golf club.
I don't even have any of my monitors loaded. I don't know if they're going to work or not. There's only one way to find out. Dag Kildar? Okay. And of course I don't have freaking chatbot loaded.
Did you ever find out about that rando?
No. That rando disconnected. Yeah, the whole server disconnected.
But he never
The
got
guy
a
that
fine?
started the alien talk.
Well, yeah, the one that I first started. Well, I was talking to him about aliens, and then all of a sudden the thing died and did weird things. So it's like they don't want us to talk about aliens. So we had to call this broadcast Unicorn Princesses because it was something that should be happy that doesn't seem to violate terms of service. Even though I don't understand how aliens could violate terms of service considering we're.
Still has the same title.
Which one?
Or,
Wait, what?
didn't even change it.
Someone says on mine.
Really?
Yeah, it says Unicorn Princesses 2, which is what we titled this as.
Mine doesn't.
What did Not Your Typical Gamer say?
She has to refresh it. For me, it says Unicorn Princesses.
It says Unicorn
The plugin I use for Twitch updates stuff immediately. Like, I don't have to click refresh to make your stuff start playing again when it stops. It just automatically does.
That's awesome that it hops on my way and it listens. What in the hell? Says it now. Okay, are we listening? Are we all on board? Is this thing actually behaving? So, guys, Twitch has been being real goofy. This entire thing. Yeah, we're calling it Unicorn Princesses, but here we're going to be talking about aliens and UFOs and weird goofy stuff. Because that's what we're about today. But because it didn't like our title when we were talking about it, we're Unicorn Princesses now. Because people are more likely to believe in a Unicorn Princess than they are into alternative power sources and other things like that and whatever UFOs. Not that I'm necessarily a huge, whatever believer or proponent of aliens. However, I do know all about extreme government projects and things of that nature. So I can talk about that for certain. Now, where they come from and all kinds of nonsense, it was really weird. Bobblezar had a lot of weird mentions of things. Like he was talking about, they were saying that the craft that they had that they were working on came from the Zeta Reticuli system, which is about 40 light years or so from here. Which is... So you watch Star Wars, right? Like, the Millennium Falcon run and all that shit? Remember how Han Solo was like, yeah, I made the Kessel run in 12 parsecs. And parsec is a unit of distance. It's not a unit of time, right? Feel me? So, but he was, that's the line in the movie, you know what I mean? Well, it just so happens that Zeta Reticuli is 12 parsecs from Earth. That's the distance, unit of distance that it is from here. And then it's part of a binary star system, where that means it's got two suns, but the suns are at a humongous distance from one another. So the distance from the Earth to the sun is a unit called an AU, called an astronomical unit, they call it. Fucking original, right? But what they do is they use the distance from the Earth to the sun. There's a general measurement for it. I forget what it is. I find. Oh fuck! I need to put this gun away. I forget we're here in White Springs. I'm gonna shoot something. It's gonna be bad.
I gotta go scrap stuff and make a phone call, but I will be back in a minute.
Okay. So I'm gonna keep ranting on since we're here. We're kind of going on. I don't know who all's tuned in, how all this thing's working. Everything in this thing kind of does goofy things. If you're in chat, let me know you're in chat. If you're not in chat, well, you don't have to worry about that then, do you?
I'm definitely in chat. I just gotta minimize my game for a minute to call somebody.
Oh yeah, brother. No worries at all. I'm lurking around too. Oh, you're in Artisan's Corner. This is smart. So, we're gonna sit here. I guess I should scrap some bits while we're here. So, the distance. I had my monitor pulled up with all my little facts on there, my little factoids. The Zeta Reticuli system, the distance between both of the suns is 700, or listen up, it's 3,750 AU from one another. And I just, for shits, I just decided to figure out, well, because there's been a lot of interesting talk about our solar system that we don't know as much as we think we do about it. We don't have a lot of details figured out. And by that same logic, that there's a great deal that we still have to learn about our own solar system. And what we can, what the hell's that? What we have going around with us. So a lot of people and a lot of astronomers have postulated that our solar system has a second sun. And most people would be like, well, if we had a second sun, we'd be able to see it, wouldn't we? And I mean, yeah, by any convention, if it was that close, it would. However, I didn't think about this, but Zeta Reticuli in particular, the distance between those units is, like I said, 3,750 AU apart. And I was like, well, how far is it from the Earth to Pluto, for instance? And let me check my chart here real quick that I had, unless I closed everything out. I closed everything out. So let me reference this. It's gonna be 49.5 AU. Oh, 39.5 AU from our Earth to the Sun. So, to give you a perspective, the Zeta Reticuli system, the distance between both of those suns is, let me go and divide this. 3750 divided by, we'll just do 40. It's 93 times further than the distance from Pluto to the Sun. And that's the distance between both of these stars that work together. They work in tandem with one another. That supposedly this alien spacecraft came from. Which is, like I said, interestingly enough, this system is 12 parsecs from Earth, which is the distance the Millennium Falcon would have taken on the Kessel Run. Which is a weird coincidence, if you will. Anyways, Bob Lazar goes on to talk about how a lot of this technology and things that they had developed were anti-gravity and were devices of astronomical equivalent strength, just massive power that they were able to generate and output and output. Hey. And to be able to have something that, and he was describing the generator for that craft being the size of a golf ball, or not the golf ball, excuse me, being the size of a basketball, like a hemisphere. So if you cut a basketball and cut that dude in half, one half of that was about what the size of this thing was. There's a particularly interesting structural design, but then this thing powered a craft that was about, they were saying the rough guess was about 52, so about 52.52 to 60 feet in diameter, which is a pretty decent sized craft, but not very large, really. I mean, that's, you know, not for something that's supposed to be for, you know, interstellar travel, like traveling between stars and things like that. And so there was some different allusions that they were making to, oh, I should make 5mm. I don't have 5mm. I also don't have Gunsmith activated right now. Different allusions they were making to the possibility of these craft were not, in fact, from outer space at all. That they didn't come from far off worlds or anything else. That they were, in fact, from Earth. And that one of the main factors that they were talking about that this vehicle could do would be, in fact, bending time. And that, in fact, that it could very well have been a type of a time travel device. And he didn't say that explicitly. He didn't seem like he was okay with that. But they kept sort of alluding to the possibility of something like that, which is while far-fetched, seems far simpler to travel in between time than it would be almost to bend light to be able to cross the universe. Even though arguably would be the same type of technology to perform the same function. It would be much safer going to the same planet at a different point in time if that were the case. Then, let's say, you know, taking off to a different system that you have no idea what the environment's going to be like, what you're going to encounter, what creatures are going to be there, what you're going to have to eat, or anything else. And then, of course, the amount of time it takes for you to get there, you know, and just because you make it there and it seems instantaneous doesn't mean that a certain amount of time relative has changed from when you left to it. Unless, of course, you're able to, in fact, bend time the same way that you would arguably bend space. And I don't think that it would be bending. That I think that's probably an inaccurate descriptor of the style of motion. The way that they describe motion on what they're calling gravitational waves seems to me to be more akin to the act of surfing than flying per se, and that even that's what they are doing inside of our own atmosphere or anything else is still surfing, whether it's underwater or in the air or in space, that these craft surf along these gravitational waves, if you will. Not that I necessarily, you know, a lot of conventional science had looked at the possibility of like a gravitational particle, which they called the graviton for a long time, which was not necessarily an accurate sort of portrayal. I mean, particles in general is kind of not necessarily the nature of things. And much more often it appears that things to be can be located or found in a wave-like state, and that particles seem to be an anomalous style of observation of certain things. So it really just depends on where you're at with it. What the hell is that? Why is it in the middle of the walkway?
Please do not interfere with resort security patrols.
There's a lot of inert flux here. Like, my first instinct is to pick it all up and take it with me, but I also know I need none of this. And like, that's the worst part about this game, is we can't even break these things down to be able to use them as different components. Ooh, let's toggle over. But anyway, going back to the idea of the binary star system. So if that would be the case, then any star that would be near us, if we were in a binary star capacity, like Zeta Reticuli, for instance, that star would be so far away that to us it would seem to be like any other normal star floating around. It wouldn't seem any more extraordinary. Unless, of course, you know what you were looking for. There are some scientists that even postulate that there is a that this star itself, that our twin star, is hidden inside the Oort cloud, which is in the same way that we have the asteroid belt that separates our planets, that there is an Oort cloud on the outside of Pluto that surrounds the entire solar system and separates from it, but we shall see. I mean, theoretically, if there was another star system, a sister star of ours that was that close around, the possibility of there being another star of a similar construction type, or excuse me, another planet of a similar construction type to us, would seem likely to me. Which would, you know, make the idea of going to Zeta Reticuli seem ridiculous, because we would be next door to one another effectively. I mean, by comparison, the distance from here to Zeta Reticuli, comparatively to where, if we had a sister star at the same position relative to where the binary star is in that system, I mean, it's fractional. You wouldn't have to go far at all. I guess I should build some of this. Which would be a great way of throwing people off. Like I said, if humans from another planet very similar to Earth were around, the first thing they would try to do is brain fuck humans from this planet and be like, oh, let's see how gullible you guys are, just like we are at home. That to me would seem very plausible and likely. Hey, no worries, Stained. I know how it goes. You were telling me that you would have to sit out because you have school. We want you to focus on school and get that stuff together, man. So you go forward and you just kick ass. And we'll keep doing the thing, hanging out. We're going to be talking about UFOs and kind of weird, goofy stuff if you want to kind of hang out and chat for a bit if you'd like. But like I said, you know, no obligation at all, of course, man. Never feel like you're obligated. I was just jumping on and bugging old Homicide out here. Nothing like bugging him. But we were talking about the, so, you know, conventional thought has it that Earth only has one sun that is nearby, that we are used to seeing, the sun that we're used to seeing. However, the vast majority of stellar bodies in the universe are binary star systems, so they have two stars that are with them that orbit around each other, and then they have other planets and such in between them. I'd have to pull up a graph of how the Zeta Reticuli system looks, but this is one that was being talked about in the Bob Lazar video, where they were saying that these spacecraft came from. I think I'm about done skis. I got just about everything that I can get done sorted out. It was kind of a weird night anyways. I got on a little bit later than I rightly should have. We should have been on earlier, but we were having the worst time ever getting any kind of connection. Like, I was sitting here with Homicidal for probably about a half hour right here, trying to get the damn video even going, and it wasn't wanting to connect, it wasn't wanting to work, it was being weird. Hey man, welcome back.
I was thinking about that alien thing while I was on the porch. You know how most streams are like, no politics, no religion? Alien kind of steps on both of those, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, we're not everybody else's stream here. This is a safe place. We can talk about controversial and hard issues because the ultimate goal is to get us into, to get through the topics, to find a new way through it. And people that don't want to deal with the conflict, I mean, that's their prerogative. They don't have to. But here we deal with the conflict. That's how that works. I mean, not that we know the answers to it unless one of us is working on the base and comes through and says, oh yeah, I seen it. And that ultimately that wouldn't matter to me. That's not the solution. That's just one more symptom of something else that we need to solve, which is, well, how do we handle this? Which is, you know, I'm okay diving into things like that. Like,
I think as illogical as the world is, most wouldn't handle that well, because, I mean, if aliens showed up and were like, we made you, that would completely destabilize certain regions, because, like, some countries are founded entirely on religion.
Yeah, it's true. Very true.
That would be interesting to see, though.
Well, I was even talking about the possibility, like, even without aliens. So here's a concept that really shatters people's brains that they don't want to think about. So most star systems, you missed this part when you were out. So most star systems are binary star systems, meaning that there's at least two stars in the system. And actually, the two-star pair is the most common. So the fact for our sun to have just the one star by itself is pretty weird. It's very uncommon. I don't remember what the actual statistics are on that, but it would put us in like 1% of 1% of all stars that have been observed. And where Bob Lazar was talking about where this spaceship that they so-called found came from was a stellar body called Zeta Reticuli, which is very nearby. It's like less than 40 light years away from us, so it's like next door neighbor comparatively. But their binary star system is weird because the two stars are separated by a huge amount of space. So, like, for instance, we were talking about astronomical units earlier. The distance from Earth to the sun is 1 astronomical unit, right? The distance from the sun to Pluto is 39.5 astronomical units, okay? Now, to give comparison for this other star system, the two stars are separated by 3,750 astronomical units. So that's like 93 times further than the Pluto is from the sun. So think how fucking far away that is. That's humongous far away. And so thinking about it from that perspective, even if we did have a second sun with us, it would be so far away that for all intents and for all purposes, it would look like just any normal star. I mean, unless you paid very close attention to it and knew what you were looking for. And also, at that range, it would be obscured by a thing called the Oort cloud, which is a whole bunch of debris that's floating outside of... that is a very kind of obvious hand scanner.
What, the secret entrance to the bunker?
Yeah, the hand scanner. It's like... Who
the
did
not so secret entrance to the bunker.
That was comical bad. Like, you didn't even have to move a vase. You didn't have to, like, you know, open up, like, a bust and, like, push a button like the old Batman. Like, nothing. Like, we just had at it and went through with it.
Says Stained is in the chat.
Stained is in chat. He is hanging out. He is going to be unable to join in with us tonight because he starts school tomorrow, which we're totally stoked for him for that. We want him to go forth and go kick some butt. And we'll be here. You know, we're always doing the thing. But you need to go kick butt in school right now because that's useful. You'll go learn some things. I mean, you'll learn things here too. That's how we roll. But you know, you gotta do the school thing. That's your job, kid. That's life. I'm feeling it,
I'm
bro.
going to buy another
really
serum
feeling it.
recipe.
Really controversial question.
No.
Do you think Stained asks, do you think Area 51 or some secret organization actually has aliens on Earth? So part of what was being posited, Bob Lazar, and what's funny is I don't ever remember him being so anti-alien per se, or even against the concept of aliens. However, he does not seem convinced by the possibility of these things come from an alien world or somewhere very far away. And like he was describing, the way that they're able to bend gravity and manipulate some of these forces around, they could theoretically bend time as well. So, like I was talking about with the way the star system is designed, theoretically, there's two possibilities. A, and I think far more likely, that craft of this nature could come from the future and would come back because it's an easier environment for them to understand. They already understand the history. There's written documentation. It's just far easier to navigate around. You can find food. You can find your anything you can use to build what you have. There's not much of a learning curve to figure it out. What the hell does this thing do?
These are stores where you can buy recipes for different things. I came to learn another mutation recipe because I had too many caps. And buying something that costs 17,000 caps instantly fixes that problem?
Yeah, I would say so. I would definitely sort that out. So like, I'm all ADD'd out. So like I said, there's two possibilities. One of them is that they come from the future, so that they're actually either humans or would be an evolutionary descendant of humans from Earth. Another possibility could be that if we are indeed a binary star system, that it could be that there is a sister planet to ours around the other sun that's very similar, and in which case it wouldn't be a matter of using light speed or anything else to get between the planets. You could actually use orbital rotation to jump between planets and relatively quickly, especially if you had ability to bend gravity or anything of the such. The other, I guess, would be the third possibility is that they are in fact, could be from Zeta Reticuli, for instance. And in fact be aliens, but there's several theories going around also that kind of postulate that life on other Earth-similar planets may be very similar to life on Earth as is. For instance, so similar that even you might even have humans there as is. And if there were in fact humans, they would behave similar to us, in which case it wouldn't be far-fetched for them to play jokes on them. Like, for instance, it wouldn't be far-fetched for me to believe that humans from another Earth, like let's say from the our theoretical second sun, would be able to come here with some technology and be able to say, hey, look, we came from this other planet way in the hell out here. We're so technical advanced. We're flexing hard. Look at us. Look how badass we are. That would make sense to me.
Fly over in like a flying saucer with the flag behind it that says suck it.
Exactly. Like just to flex. Like, because humans do dumb shit. Like, that's a real thing. And the odds, okay, the amount of humans that do dumb shit on Earth how many of them there are. If there were humans around the entire universe, there would be that same amount of dumb shit humans there doing dumb shit. And they would be playing games and pranks and other things on them. Humans' deception on other humans is one of the more common themes in every culture. It doesn't matter where you're from, where you're at, how you got there. Everybody plays games and goofs on one another. Even religiously, and I mean that literally and figuratively. It would make sense to me, time travelers. That makes far more sense to me than interspace travel in certain aspects. It seems very likely because it would be very easy to manipulate humans from a past before you, because you have a greater amount of information from that. And depending on how you were going about it, it would be easier to control the outcome. Easier to influence, not control. Because time is a giant slippery mess, and I don't imagine that being very super easy to do. And like I said, the possibility of them being aliens, I mean, because remember, alien is a very wide category. I mean, arguably, if you want to get into the semantics of it, alien just means anybody that's not on paper, not on contract. You're alien, L-I-E-N. As some of you know, a lien is a contract. That's a binding agreement between, two parties of a certain level of value. So when someone says that someone is an alien, they're somebody without papers. So when everybody talks about illegal aliens and illegal immigrants, what they're literally talking about is a legal standing wherein these people do not have papers for this. So when they talk about aliens from Earth, they're talking about people that we don't have a covenant or an agreement with that are not from Earth. Arguably a people and or a thing and or something that we don't have an agreement with. Because you can make a contract with machines. I mean, that's a very common thing. People do terms of service with computers all day long and don't even realize it.
I don't think I've ever read one of those, but yeah, I've clicked OK on a few.
Exactly, and very few people read them. Be honest with you. Normally, because it makes people nervous. That much words scare people.
I could owe Todd Howard a kidney right now, and I'd never know.
No, you bet your ass. We probably all do, come to think of it. He's probably coming to collect our kids and definitely our intellectual properties and probably harvest our brains. This whole thing is probably being sold to a CIA-like project where they're just analyzing how we're going about and interacting with one another. I mean, it could go by any number of ways. I mean, that's probably could be the whole Google and Facebook thing, arguably, however you want to look at it. And that's part of where things break down and get goofy.
Google or Facebook allegedly made two AIs that made their own language. I think that could have turned out cool if they hadn't shut them down. They alleged they shut them down. I don't believe them.
I don't think they did. Why would you kill something like that? As a project like that? It's incredible. Damn it, man. I need the railway spike.
That's a bunch of different types of ammo that I don't think anybody would want.
No, I normally would take the missiles, but I hoard missiles, and I probably shouldn't anymore because I don't have a good missile launcher to get rid of them with.
There's a plan in there now for wind instruments if you need it.
Scoo. Oh no, I got it. We're good. We're rocking and rolling. And then Stain didn't want the plasma cores. He didn't much care for the goo guns. So I guess we're good. We'll just leave it here for the next one. But yeah,
I gotta move a decent way away from that, and then I can drop another bag. Otherwise, that bag's gonna follow me. All right.
You're just dumping weight now.
Yeah. Well, I was dumping weight. Now I'm dumping legendary stuff. The vendor I sell stuff to isn't on right now, so I'm just throwing all these legendaries on the ground that I don't want.
I'll raid those here in a second. We'll script them. I got full script now, so to answer your question, Stained, do I think Area 51 or some secret organization has aliens on Earth? It could be distinct I think the far greater possibility is that some of these, if there were aliens on Earth, it seems far more likely to me, especially if they were human or humanoid, that they would themselves establish an organization themselves to interact with people. All right, you're heading out. You got to get your school from tomorrow from your grandparents, which would be pretty cool. Also, you should be able to play till 11 from now on. So when the streams are over, you'll have to hop off during the week. But during the weekends, it's game on all night. You have a great night, bro. We will see you soon. Love you, Stained. You have a great night. Stay up, have a blast, and have a kick-ass day at school tomorrow. Dude, you just murdered that guy.
Nothing.
I mean, I didn't see nothing.
Seen nothing.
Holy shit. Okay.
If you're good enough at stealth to kill him and no one else sees you, then you're good. You don't start a war.
So I just got.
I think if we had an alien in a facility somewhere, it would probably be only one, because I would think an intelligent life form would know to stay the hell away from us. As a species, we are relatively violent as hell.
Yeah, but we're supremely useful. Like, one thing that was interesting that Joe Rogan, what they were talking about in that podcast, Joe Rogan mentioned one of the things that humans do excellently is we make things better. We love making things better. We can't just leave shit alone the way it is. So, coming from that perspective, we would be incredibly useful to be harvested, collected, and or directed to certain objectives. Like, you wouldn't even need to abduct us. You wouldn't need to pull your brains out. You wouldn't need to do anything goofy like that. Essentially,
some technology, and we'll figure out how to make it better.
Well, you can even just give someone an idea. Think about that. I mean, all you gotta do is just whisper in someone's ear and just let them go. Wind the little person up and let them go. You know what I mean? And we do, and we always do. People do this with ideas. People get stupid little goofy notions in their head and they run off on about it. I mean, hell, look, we're making a whole thing on damn aliens and shit. It's one of the things that we do. So when you give us an opportunity to make things and make things better, we love it. We live for it. So you wouldn't want to get rid of us, but you also don't want to control and tame us, because if you control and tame us, we're going to get you. Because, humans are very much like water. We don't like being contained, and we will break everything down that we can get our hands on. It's just part of the process. It's just literally part of what we do. Not even that's negative, even though it can be and is frequently harvested and utilized for negative purposes. I don't think that's inherently a negative trait of us. I think it's how the intention is applied to the humans that makes that happen. You know what I'm saying? Because how many, like they say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And likewise, humans are always trying to help things. But from that same token, people that are trying to help sometimes make things a lot worse. I've done this a lot where we're in a perfect team and we're doing it right, and I just charge right in and break everybody's stealth and break the whole thing, and next thing we know, everybody's dead. And I think I'm being helpful, and it's not, because timing was bad, or not paying attention to the context and what we're up to at the moment. Likewise, I think it's the same with most.
This area.
I think if we were knowingly given technology that was beyond us, we would immediately try to weaponize it. And
oh yeah,
this thought reminded me of a really stupid meme, but I'm about to put it in your Discord here.
Yeah, hit us with the meme, bro. We love it.
It's terrible. It's so terrible. I don't even know where to put it.
Hitting any of the rants. There's a dank meme section. We have a dank meme section.
Okay, we'll go with that one then. Okay, so it's stupid, but man, I gotta shorten it. That sucks. I wanted to just copy the link, but yeah, it's what we would do with some seemingly harmless technology, I imagine.
Okay, I'm queuing in the Discord to check it out. But yeah, and the weaponization is definitely one of the swifter uses for it. I mean, it's always, because it's, and I would say, functioning philosophically, that comes from, you want to know how something is dangerous so you can know how to avoid the dangerous part of it. I would argue that inherently that's where that comes from. But also because there's many different personality types, like arguably there's 12 personality types in the world. And some of those capitalize on fear as a method of mobilization, a way of mechanizing and getting people going around. Shortcut.
Does that even work? I don't know. I had to make it shorter so that it would let me
It did not.
let me paste it. All right, continuing to try. It's stupid. Like, it's so stupid. I don't have words for how stupid this is.
But the accuracy of this is it's dead on accurate and it's pertinent. I can feel it, man. I imagine it's gonna be good once it's all on.
Oh man.
Also, shout out Bear. I see you there lurking. You're awesome. That's the last I'm gonna say about that. I threw you the little shout out. I'm gonna let you watch in peace. Let you listen to creepy alien talk. It's gonna be great. Because it's just an interesting food for thought. Because like I said, most people really like to think about aliens, especially since it's funny because early science fiction, all of the aliens look like people, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's stupid. We want to see something that's not people." So for like 30 years, we had a lot of very, very interesting, very colorful, very intense aliens. We still do in many games. No Man's Sky is a perfect example. Warframe's a perfect example. I mean, hell, Alien. I mean, any of them you look at, there's some phenomenal examples of them.
There we go. That's the kind of dumb shit we do with technology.
All right, loading it up now.
It's like, it seems harmless. Let's just.
Oh shit! Yes, that meme, the Claymore Roomba. Yeah, that's some thug life shit. Like, and that's the thing, is something perfectly innocuous, something perfectly handy and helpful. You just strap a fucking bomb to it and you got party time. Like, could you imagine a vehicle with basically light speed capabilities with nuclear weapons? I mean, we got to think about this.
We found infinite energy, and the first thing we learned to do with it was turn 2 miles into unlivable wasteland.
Well, that's the funny part. Think about this. We discovered nuclear weapons first, before the unlimited power thing. So we already have the nuclear weapons. That's not going anywhere. Nuclear weapons, the cat's out of the bag. That's been around, and arguably nuclear technology.
They had to have known that that was going to be a source of energy about the time the first mathematician realized it was going to burn 16 times hotter than the face of the sun.
Yeah.
Because before the first one went off, they were already talking concerns about setting the atmosphere on fire with it.
Yeah.
And, like, I would have shown a bit more restraint in letting one of those off once I realized that was a possibility.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you kidding me?
This room up here, by the way, is the presidential suite. I heard you try to get into it a minute ago. You used to be able to jump up there into that window and stand on the ledge. You can't stand on it anymore. But you could stand on it and then face outwards in your power armor. And when you got out of your power armor, you would clip through the window and into the presidential suite. And in there, there's something called, there's a blueprint for something called a presidential Gauss rifle and a couple of other things. But I've heard talks about them putting a PvP event into the game where you compete to be the president, and once you're the president, you can get into there and get different plans. But I have no clue when they plan to implement that. But that's why we can't get into this area over here.
Got it.
They bugged into it for a while though, and then they patched it.
Ooh, we can't have nothing nice. Can't have
can't even
broken
be
weird
the president. You let me in there. You let somebody in there. Your parents tell you when you're little you can be whatever you want. I want to be the damn president.
I'll vote you.
I don't care how many players I've got to kill.
Right? You couldn't be worse than what we're dealing with now, man. You're all right. Like, it'll be good. It'll be all right. We'll figure it out.
I could get a spray tan and a fake hairpiece if that's what it takes.
Or just a dead squirrel tied to your head. There you go. Man, it's amazing how you come up, and that's what is salesmanship, dude. That's literally what we're dealing with. Like, and it's funny because we've had such technological growth that has happened in the last 100 years, and yet, arguably, ethologically, like our ethos, we have not grown much. Arguably, shit. I mean, things are changing. I would say that the general consensus of people is coming around, especially with access for more information and people being able to communicate better. With forums like this, especially with the internet, it's far easier to have a much more serious or harsh conversation without having to worry about fisticuffs breaking out. You know, so you can sit here and let your brains cool down and kind of talk a little bit more. This place is awesome, and kind of think about things in a little bit more depth than you know may otherwise happen. And you know, I know it's easy for. Not just me, but for shit.
If you want a quick way to lose health, this stuff underneath here is toxic water. You can gather a bunch of it, and then when your health gets too high, you just drink the toxic water or a few, and you can lower your health back down.
Oh, Mountain Dew score!
Alright, I've lost enough weight, ditched all of my legendaries. Oh, I have one more legendary that might actually be useful for anybody that wants to be a heavy gunner. I didn't drop that one, but it's a 2-shot ultra sight Gatling laser of some sort.
Holy crap! Isn't that the one you were telling Stained about?
Nah, the one that I'm keeping is better, but I got another 2-shot while I was out screwing around.
Woo! Homicidal, coming with the heavy guns. He's not playing around here.
The other one has fire rate. This one has limb damage. But there it is. If you want to give it a go.
Yeah, we'll check it out. Ultra sight Gatling gun shoots
Elevator
an additional
down.
projectile. Scoot.
Hey, see if you can make that jump.
Oh,
yeah, I didn't think you were gonna make that jump.
Oh my god, that was so intense.
I
hate
made
it
that
so
jump
hard.
because serendipity procced and it makes me dodge all incoming damage.
That's brilliant. I need
That
to get
is a
something
perk
like that.
you need, by the way, if you want to be bloodied. It's really, really useful. It's
Okay.
3 points under luck, and what's it do here? I can read exactly what it does. While below 20% health, you gain a 45% chance to avoid incoming damage.
Alright, which one's this called?
Yes.
Serendipity?
Serendipity under
Our
luck.
priority.
Let's get that. I got a couple level ups I can use real quick.
I still need 2 more level ups to max out what am I maxing out? Adamantium skeleton. There we go. Then I'll be Wolverine. Wait. I forgot I need to make a grounded serum so that I can have my energy resistance. Super duper. No, never take off starch jeans. Take off bloody mess and then switch that out for super duper.
So serendipity, while below 30% health, gain a 15% chance to avoid damage.
Yeah, the amount of damage and the chance for it to proc go up as you level it. Mutation serums, grounded.
Why don't you give me luck?
Hey, you plan on using any energy weapons or do you use ballistics?
I mostly just use ballistics. Every now and then I've been kind of messing with the energy weapons though. I've got that the thwack right now that I just got. Is the executioner's
that?
one. It's the one that shoots the arc lightning, except for mine's semi-automatic.
This one would be bad for you then. Alright. I was gonna see if you wanted another mutation, but if you use it, it'll make your energy weapons do less damage.
Is that grounded?
Yep.
I've been thinking about grounded. Let me chill on that for a bit, man. Because I don't, like I said, I don't use a lot of energy weapons.
Here,
But
one of them on the ground.
he's like,
I
just
made
shut up
3
and
of
take
them,
it.
so you can
Alright.
use it whenever you decide to, or sell it for 500 caps, however you want to do it.
All right.
I made 3 of them.
Is there?
Super
There's no
duper
script
props
thing
on
out
one
here,
of
is
them.
there?
Not here. Next
Outside.
door at the other place there is.
All right, I'm gonna go run next door.
Grounded
To,
IP of our system. Dense.
All right, I'm gonna cook my food here and then I'll be done.
Cool.
I don't even know if I need to cook my food.
I'll meet you at the station then. Natural Queen Bee says homicidal for president. That's awesome. She said that a while ago. I just read it.
My chat lights up red when somebody says something that includes my name in it.
That's awesome. So we tag you, we'll let you know. That's dope.
It also pins the message to the top of the chat so that if chat scrolls by, the message that has my name in it stays on top of the chat until I click an X on it.
That's awesome. So you always get noted. That's really good. That's super useful. That's a great way to make sure that well, you don't overlook when someone's talking to you. I should probably do something similar. Alright, let's see if I can get out of here without blowing up. Probably not, but it's nice to hope, right? Oh, the sentry bots are so scary. Why do they gotta be so big and scary? Oh, jeez Louise. That was not tactical. That was in no way, shape, or form tactical. Is he gonna make it? Oh my god, he's gonna make it! That's intense!
Why'd you blow you up?
I blew me up because I was trying to kill these jerks. You're T-posing on me. This is hilarious. I'm just gonna watch you walk around like this. Look, he's flying. Guys, look on the stream. Homicidal's flying. That's the best right there.
I didn't one-shot one of them. You can shoot that one. It's coming. It's kind of crippled a little bit, but yeah. I got me. I stopped to think for a split second, and this is what happened. Stand on top of that and shoot them all. I'll be back in a second. I killed myself.
Jump, full jump!
It's those hammer pants with your clown outfit. They're not aerodynamic. It's not good for running.
No, they're not. Oh, I made it. Oh, shit, really? That's garbage. Actual garbage.
I can't revive that.
No, you can't fix dead. You can't fix dead or stupid. Fortunately, I got both.
Okay. Alright.
One thing I thought was interesting
So,
is that Bob Lazar was mentioning whenever they were when he got busted, they were hanging out over at the S4 or whatever, watching the airplane or watching the craft go. And he mentioned that they were joking around about invading to break the ships out, and then that's when all the dudes showed up and abducted them all. And I was sitting there because he's talking about this on Joe Rogan, and I was like, when did the Area 51 meme come out? So I did some digging around on that, and the meme came out before Bob Lazar said that on air. I was talking about it, but I mean, I'm
That thing that's right above mine is funny. I just looked over at my second monitor and seen that. The when you're a bloody build in Vault 94, and it's like, I'm fighting
for my
fucking
life. Yes, dude. It's exactly it.
Man.
I seen that after we went through the other day, and I was like, oh, this hurts. This is too real. I'm like not okay with this. It's too real.
I got potato chips from inside the school bus.
Score.
Am I still well rested?
Gone the magic bus.
I'm not well rested anymore.
Gone the magic bus. Do 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 do.
If there's a something scorched playing butt touches
been-
with you.
Stop